Welcome to Higher Self Mastery, the podcast for women ready to leave behind who they were told to be and remember who they truly are. I'm your host, Dharmi Schumacher. This is your space to come home to yourself, to honor the inner pull for more truth and more depth, and more meaning as you enter a new chapter of your life. Together, we're reframing midlife crisis into the midlife magic that it actually is, because this is your rebirth. Through soulful conversations and spiritual tools, you'll reconnect to your truth and reclaim your voice and live the life that your soul came here for. So let's begin. This week on Higher Self Mastery, I'm super excited to introduce you to Sophia Lorimer. Sophia is a sustainable stylist and the founder of Fine Tuned Wardrobe, a multi-award-winning business redefining style through a sustainable lens. She believes great style isn't about buying more, it's about making smart, conscious choices that align with who you are and who you stand for. By helping clients to maximize their wardrobes, she transforms how they dress, shop, and show up in the world, using fashion as a tool for confidence, leadership, and self-expression. A respected voice in the industry, Sophia has taken the stage as a keynote speaker at the House of Lords and has spoken at Channel 4 and major publications such as Forbes magazine, Good Housekeeping, and The Sun. Her expertise and impact have also earned her recognition as a finalist in the sustainable category at the Glow Mama and the Dynamic Awards. Beyond styling, Sophia is on a mission to reshape the way we think about fashion, proving that style and sustainability aren't opposites, but powerful allies. She challenges the throwaway culture of fast fashion, showing people how to make intentional, lasting choices that honor both their identity and the planet. For Sophia, it's not just about what you wear, it's about wearing your values. Enjoy this episode. Hello and welcome. This is Sophia Lorimer. Sophia, for those of our listeners who are unfamiliar with your work, can you please introduce yourself? Who do you serve? What do you do?
So I am a sustainable stylist. However, not just a stylist. I feel like my work is very different, and I really just want women to feel amazing in their own skin, to enable them to go out there and do whatever it is that they want to do. And with that, getting you to wear your values and feel empowered and confident enough to enter rooms that you might not have entered before. So I do that, and I also am a speaker, a creative, and all those gorgeous, yummy things.
Beautiful. Is there a specific group of women that you enjoy working with?
So it's normally my remit, as it were, are people in either business, entrepreneurs, CEOs, that kind of remit. People that are already in a field of something that they enjoy, but they want to up level, and their wardrobe is stopping them to up level in that kind of way. That's where I normally sit. However, I have done stay-at-home mums, and it does vary, but primarily it is those entrepreneur type kind of people.
Wonderful. And would you mind sharing with our listeners, how did you come about beginning your business, Fine Tuned Wardrobe? What is your origin story? How did it all come? What were you inspired by or motivated by?
Trauma,
Okay.
if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah.
So I have always been in fashion. I used to be a manager for All Saints back in the day, which I absolutely loved. The creativity side of it and all of that. And I love clothes. I've from a huge family, so I had lots of hand-me-downs, were like fourth-me-downs, fifth-me-downs. So I've always been into fashion. And then when I was of an age to be able to shop for myself, I was like, oh my God, I went rogue. I bought everything. I was absolutely addicted to fast fashion. I bought everything and anything. Because for one, I didn't really know who I was. I just wanted to fit in. Two, it was the buzz, the hit, the like, oh, I could get whatever I want. It's really cheap. I could just wear it once and then toss it, all the things. And then I had my daughter, and everything went on its head. I lost my identity. I lost my everything that I thought I knew about myself had completely changed. I thought I was confident. I thought I could dress myself. I thought I knew who I was, but it was always masking something that I just wanted to fit in and feel like I was part of the tribe that I was a part of. And so fast forward to having my daughter, everything changing. I then got diagnosed with postnatal depression. My daughter was really, really poorly with severe eczema. So that whole bonding thing that I thought I would have locked down, and all of these amazing matching outfits that I'd got, and all of this stuff that I thought that was going to make me an amazing mum, didn't. And I was just a shell of myself. I literally couldn't recognize myself in the mirror. I couldn't get dressed. I was living in leggings and a t-shirt. I was just so lost in this new chapter. So when I eventually got some help, because I did that whole staple, I don't know if anyone can resonate with this, or you can resonate with this. It's that whole thing of, oh no, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. Everything's fine. And to the outside world, I seemed okay. But inside, I just was not coping, didn't know. I felt like I had to keep up appearances, as it were. But I would just be a shell of myself. So when I got diagnosed with postnatal depression, it was almost like, okay, it's not me, there's an actual problem. And then we call them happy pills in my house. And then I was on the happy pills. They really helped. And I started seeking the help that I actually needed, that I wouldn't seek out for a really, really long time. And then when I got better, because I did, and I was like, there must be other women that go through this. There must be other women that get derailed by something in their lives, whether it's having a baby, whether it's divorce, bereavement, menopause, change of career, change of weight. All of these things derail us, and it's okay for that acceptance to say, do you know what, I'm not okay, but there's people out there that can help me. And that is where my whole world shifted, when I was like, okay, this is something, and this is where I'm at, but I don't have to stay here forever. You know, I can get help. I can get somebody to coach me back to this new person, a new chapter that I was in. And within that, I was like, I want to help those women. Started fine-tuned wardrobe on literally a bit of scrap paper. I just wrote down loads of stuff and was battering around ideas, because I knew a lot about fashion. But I didn't know about sustainability, and this is where my daughter being really poorly with eczema came into the fold, because I went down the rabbit hole of I wanted her to wear organic cotton, and I wanted her to, be in these gorgeous fabrics that are going to help her skin. But my wardrobe was full of plastic. And then when I unraveled the whole, fabrics and sustainability, nearly 8 years later, I've never come out, because I know far too much, and I want to help women use that as your superpower to be like, I'm going to wear my values. I'm going to wear things that not just align with what's on trend, but what actually feeds my soul and aligns with it. And since I started seeing the world from that angle of wearing my values and supporting things that actually support me, physically, mentally, all the things, oh my God, my world's completely changed. And that's what I want to inspire others to do. That was a really long answer.
But I loved every word of it. Thank you so much for that heartfelt and vulnerable share. And there was so much of what you said that I can relate to, and I know that our listeners will be able to relate to as well, because my gosh, that identity shift, losing your
Oh,
identity after having a child, and your hormones are all over the place. I thankfully never did experience postpartum depression, but it was still tough. Yes, like I completely lost who I was, my sense of myself, like, and that was massive, absolutely massive. And then on top of that, like you said, your body's changing, your image is changing. Actually, after I had my daughter, because I have one girl, just like you as well, my body was still actually resembling, my body shape, I should say, was still resembling what I was like pre-pregnancy. So that was actually okay to begin with. The body image became more challenging for me as I began perimenopause, and we'll dive into that in a moment. But just all of those other things that you said, like the whole wanting to like only clothe my child in the best organic bamboo fabrics, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't afford this. Like, you know, if you go out to buy it brand new necessarily. And just all of the other things, you know, like the wanting to fit in, like when you're growing up and you're still learning, like even in your 20s still, for most of us, there's very few people, I think, at that younger age that I can confidently say they really know who they are and where their values, as you put it, and where their confidence and who they are on themselves, on their skin. But for the most part, we're all still trying to figure it out and trying to look like each other, or like you said, go down the high street to see what's in fashion. And I came across you and your work through a connection on LinkedIn. And I remember when I first saw some of the images on your posts and stuff, I was like, hang on a second, this lady looks fantastic. Like, she is so stylish, but more importantly, as you said, not fashionable in the sense of on trend, because to be honest, I don't know what's on trend anymore. I don't keep up with it. It doesn't actually even interest me anymore. It did once upon a time ago, a couple of decades ago.
But now there's 32 micro trends a year. How can anybody keep up with that? It's not sustainable.
Wowzers.
Purse wise. And the fact that you are constantly on a treadmill to consume, because they want you to think that you're lacking something in order to keep consuming. So
absolutely,
yeah,
and through that as well, though, you're never really giving yourself the chance and the opportunity to explore who you really are and how you want to express yourself, because you're just following like a sheep. You're just following what everybody else is doing. So yes, I resonate with so much of what you said there. And actually earlier this year, and I feel you inspired this because I've been following you on LinkedIn for at least a year now, maybe a little bit longer. And last year I went to my first vintage kilo sale. And because my excuse always was, I had a few excuses, and I think a lot of our listeners will be able to relate to this, and we'll also touch on these points in a moment as well. There aren't any sort of charity shops near me that stock clothes that I like, right? There are charity shops, but there's nothing that I really like in them. And so that was one excuse. The other one was I haven't got the time. Like, I'm just trying to juggle so much. I haven't got the time to go rummaging. But then that changed. I went to a vintage kilo sale last year, and I was amazed at how much I walked away with. I think I came home with like 5 new dresses for like £25. And I was just like, and feeling great that I can wear this for one season and then just pass it on and not feel like I've got to hold on to it, you know, once I'm done with it as well. And so that led me earlier this year to challenge myself to not buy anything new this year.
How are you getting on?
I'm doing all right. I mean, bar from like the smalls, like your knickers and your bras and things like that. I think I'm doing okay. This is a little piece I picked up in a charity shop, and it's so not me. It's so not reflective of what's in my wardrobe. And I was like, you know what? I'm speaking with Sophia today. Like, put it on, Dharmi. I don't think I've actually wore it yet. I bought it a while
I
ago.
haven't yet.
I was like, step out of your comfort zone. Come on, you can do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'd love to know what's been stopping you from wearing it?
Because it is not something that I would usually choose. And I just don't
Okay.
know if it suits me, two, whether I can wear it with confidence, because I think confidence, and I think you would agree, is really the
Mm,
key to anything you're wearing. And that's what I love
absolutely.
about what you wear, because you do all these amazing layers over like, the most
Hmm.
eclectic mix of items, but you wear it with
Hmm.
such confidence that
Well, I'm wearing pajamas today, but you wouldn't have known
I
that.
wouldn't have known that. I was sitting here trying to work out what you're wearing. I
um,
know I wouldn't have said they were pajamas. How
but
fabulous.
I was like, they're too cute for pajamas. So I had my seamstress add some extra flair on the
Love
arms
it.
and on the legs. And I just rock them with a little pump and do my day to day life. Um,
I love it.
you're absolutely right. It is about the confidence thing. And here's the missing link that people really don't get is that the confidence is actually in your wardrobe. That is your armor that you can wear that gives you that instant lift, and you stand differently and you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I really like me in that. Or maybe it's a texture, a color, a print. It's about those things that you've got in your wardrobe that give you that confidence if you don't inherit that confidence in the first place. But here's the thing is that we think that we need to get confident to wear the thing, but you just need to wear the thing to get the confidence. And that is the missing link. And that's what I help my women do, my community do, because it's that's stopping you from wearing the things that you love. Like you in this shirt, it's been sitting in your wardrobe, you haven't worn it, you look fabulous in it. It resembles, sorry, one that I had from All Saints back in the day, a little bit like it, so I was like instantly drawn to it. And I think that also that we put ourselves in these boxes of, oh, that's not really me, or oh, I'm not sure about that. But what if you just tried it? And if you don't like it, you can, like you say, pass it on, give it to charity, give it to another home. But you've tried it, because 9 times out of 10, it's just your mind saying to you, do you know what? It's better in our comfort zone. It's better if we just stay here where it's nice and warm and, we just do the same thing. But you are not the same person as you was last year. You're not the same person as you was at the beginning of this year. So it's okay for your wardrobe and style to evolve with you.
100%. I love that. On that note, I'm going to ask you to, for those of our listeners who are saying, well, that's all fair and well. I want to have the confidence before I put something on and then bring the confidence through what I'm wearing. What if I don't know how to pair something together, or I don't know if it works together well, or I just don't feel comfortable in my clothes? Where would you start with somebody like that to begin to help them to bring that innate confidence to what they put on and be adventurous and try something new?
So the way that I work is quite holistic, and that's why I always say I've not yet met a stylist that does what I do, because 9 times out of 10, it's not about your wardrobe. It's about your mindset towards the way you think about yourself, what you see in the mirror, what you think other people see of you. So we start there, really. How do you see yourself? How do you want to see yourself? What do you love seeing yourself in? What shapes, what colours, what textures make you feel the best version of yourself? That's where we start. Because so often I've worked with clients, they're like, oh my God, my husband loves me in this. My best friend loves me in this. My auntie loves me. All of these people, but they cannot articulate what they love about themselves and what they love to wear. it's always somebody said that blue's really my colour. A colour analyst said, oh, I should wear these colours. But what colours do you like?
Yeah.
So that's where we start, because it's really important to know. And also, have you ever been asked something, you're like, and you reel off all the things that you don't like about yourself before you can say probably one or maybe two things that you like about yourself. So we start with, what do you love about yourself and how can we grow that? And if you say to me, do you know what, I really love my legs. Okay, what things and what shapes could we wear that are in your wardrobe already that can accentuate how you feel and how you walk and all of those things? And it's really about how you feel. You're going to hear this over and over again, but that's the key ingredient to knowing about you and your style and getting that confidence, is how do you want to feel? And that's where I primarily start even my dressing every day. Today, I'm doing a podcast, I'm doing some content later. I just want to be easy breezy, but still personality and still me. Hence the pajama rocking outfit. But I will wear this to Sainsbury's later when I need to go to do the food shop. So it's all relative, and it's all based on how you want to feel.
I love that. Beautiful. And I love that it's the mindset first, because it's about empowering yourself. And I know empowerment is key to what you do, and empowering these women. And as it is in the work that I do, and I predominantly work with mind mastery, but there's so many other elements that have to work in conjunction with that. So
because it's your mind that's stopping you from wearing that shirt. It's not that you don't know how to put it together, but in your mind it's saying, oh no, you're not good enough, or I don't think that's going to look right on you. It's that loop that is constant that is stopping us from doing that. And if we start there, you're then going to be armoured. After I've long gone, you're going to be armed with a new set of skills and new tools in your toolkit. When that voice comes up saying that you can't do that, or you can't put that shirt on with that, you're like, well, yes, I can.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's that.
Yeah, and what's come into my mind here, and I talk about this a lot in other areas of life with my customer base, but it's just as relevant here as it is anywhere else, and that is reprogramming our minds to stop trying to people please, stop trying to fit in and worry about what other people are going to think. Like, you're going to go down to Sainsbury's later on wearing those pajamas, and you are going to rock it, and you do not care what anybody thinks, whether people are judging you or passing comments, or even if they're complimenting you. It's irrelevant to you, because you feel great in how you look and feel in what you're wearing. And I think that is where there's the biggest barrier. It's that unconditioning of what we've learned as you grow up. And I'm watching my daughter, she's 10 and a half now. And as we're driving, she'll see like some older girls maybe walking down the street, and she'll be like, oh, they look slay, mama. And I'm like, also having to hold my tongue as well a little bit, because she's just learning about herself, and she's learning about what she likes and what she doesn't like. But at the same time, we've all fallen into that trap, because the pressure from society is immense to fit in. It's an innate survival human trait to want to fit in and be accepted. And we do that very much through the way we look. And then you get to our age where you're just like, I'm tired of trying to fit in with what everybody else wants me to look like. And now I finally want to show up the way I wanted to show up. And I think that's what's really hard. So when you use this example of this shirt, I'm not going to lie, even though I would describe myself as a very confident individual, and for the most part, 90% of the time, I will walk down the street and I will rock what I wear, just because of the confidence, right? And I have a very different style every single day, depending on how I feel, which is why I cannot put my clothes out the day before, and why sometimes before I step out the door, there's about 5 pieces of clothing on my bed because I have changed until I'm like, this is it now. This is what I feel comfortable in today. It's not about anyone else. It's just like how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, but
So
when I
important.
walked down, I walked the dog earlier before we sat down to record this, and I'm not going to lie, there was a little bit of like, what do I look like? There's
Yeah.
a slight, like, I wasn't there rocking the confidence, you know?
Yeah.
But that judgment came in. It's like, why do I care what I look like? Or what other people think I look like? Does it feel comfortable? Yes, it does feel comfortable. Actually, it's perfect for this weather, as we've
Yeah.
got a slightly grey, dull day, and you know, it's not as hot as it has been over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And it's perfect for walking the dog, and it's perfect for sitting here recording a podcast. So it's super comfy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is, going back to your daughter, I always say to my whole community, the women that I work with, no matter who you are an influencer. You're influencing every single person around you, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not. So every time you get dressed and you're pulling yourself apart, or I'm too big, I'm too this, even if you do not utter the words, people around you are absorbing that energy, that shift in yourself when you're getting frustrated because you don't know what to wear. It is a ripple effect massively. One word that I've banned in my house is the F word.
Same. Yes, absolutely.
When we do the same one, right?
Yes.
Just making sure.
FATs not allowed in this
Yeah,
house. No
it's
way.
not. Do you know? And people, like, I've had friends that come here and they say that, and I'm like, no, sorry, we don't talk about ourselves in that way in my house. And I think that it's really, really important when you've got young children or young peers around you, because societally every single thing is magnified on social media and everything. So they're getting it, they're gonna get it, whether we like it or not, in other forms, whether it's a playground or wherever. It cannot also be in the home as well. So I think that we shouldn't just do this, self-acceptance and all of this for ourselves, but also for everybody that is viewing us on a wider scope.
100%, 100%. Because the best way to create that change is to lead by example. And I think when we as women have daughters, it changes everything in how we show up in all areas of our life.
Absolutely.
But one thing where I had to learn a couple of years ago, like when they're little and they pair weird and wonderful clothes together, it's accepted. It's
acceptable.
beautiful, acceptable because they're toddlers. And then I caught myself at a certain age where I started uttering or trying to influence her, as you said in your words, that, Bubs, that doesn't really look good with that, or that doesn't quite go with that. And then I'm like, I caught myself and I was like, who am I to tell her what to wear? Who am I to tell her what to wear? Like, just because I've been conditioned by society, let her put on the winter jumper with the cycling shorts and then, I don't know, with her welly boots, like whatever it is, like it doesn't matter. My opinion is irrelevant. Does she feel good? Then let her walk outside. And I've had to have words with my husband too. And I'm like, It's like, don't tell her, don't influence her.
Yeah.
And the same with the F word. I'm like, that word doesn't exist in our house.
Honestly, I obviously doing what I do. I love outfits. I love all of the things. And she does too. But she will do her own thing. And I'm always like, oh, okay, I love that for you. And that's my favourite word. I just say, I love that for you. Because then it's taking away any judgment or anything. I'm just like, do you know what? We're just going to stay with that. And I love it for you. But I'm not sure I would have paired those two together. But anyway.
Yeah, because because otherwise we're just squashing their creativity, aren't we?
Absolutely.
And we're
absolutely.
then being hypocrites by saying we don't want to fit into a box that society is saying that, fashion is this way right now, or this is what's in for the autumn winter season in 2025. We don't have to conform to that. But hold on, darling, like you need to conform to my views.
Yeah,
and it's so
absolutely.
hypocritical, isn't it?
So bad. So yeah, I catch myself and I'm like, no. But yeah, 9 times out of 10 though, she will say to me, "Oh, mummy, I think you should wear these shoes with that," and stuff like that. She's very on it completely. So
Yeah, it's beautiful. They're such good teachers. And we do bounce quite well together, actually, because sometimes my daughter will come and say to me, and she'll say to me all the time, "I don't like your fringe, mama." She goes, "I like your hair long, but I don't like your fringe." I was like, "I hear you, baby girl, but you know what? Mama really loves her fringe, and it's not going anywhere."
part
That's
of
it.
my identity.
That's it. Like, I'm not ready to get
Yeah.
rid of it just because you don't like it.
Yeah, no, but then within that, you're teaching her. There's a teaching in that,
That's it.
because just because somebody else doesn't like something of yours doesn't mean that you have to not like it. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
it.
It's
A
that
hundred
whole
percent. Giving
yeah,
ourselves permission to show up how we feel we want to show up.
absolutely.
We touched on that. I know it's a big part of what you do, and I mentioned I like to dress for how I feel. Tell me, when you're getting ready, share with the listeners, like, what's your usual routine? Do you plan things ahead? Like, if you've got speaking engagements or special places that you need to go, or on your day-to-day basis, do you plan ahead what you're wearing? Do you set things out the night before because it helps you to save time? Because I know there are people out there that will advocate for that way of managing things, especially women who are really busy and they're like, I can't have that. I can't process that in the morning. There's just too much going on. So then I end up reaching for the easiest things, or the most comfortable things, or the
Absolutely.
safe things. What do you do in your process, and what is your recommendation for women who maybe don't have that time? Like, how's the easiest way to start to dress for yourself in a way that feels good for you each and every day?
So I'm very different in terms of what I say to others to maybe practice. I don't do. Do as I say, not as I do. But purely because I can come in my office is in my wardrobe. I can come in here and be like, or know the day before what my day's going to look like tomorrow. And then I can come in here, like I knew I was going to wear this while I was in the shower. I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to wear that. And that was that. Because I know, I can piece things together quite easily in my mind. Equally, I do have those days when I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to wear. I still have those days from time to time, especially around my monthly cycle and things like that, different things coming on. And that's the thing as well that I really want to make sure the listeners hear, is that different cycles and different times of the month, you're going to feel differently about your whole wardrobe as a whole, and that is okay. It does not mean you need to go out and buy another dress. It's not going to fix the problem. It's just the cycle that you're in. Perimenopause, all of that stuff creates your wardrobe to have a bit of like it's not quite aligning, but it's just the phase that you're in, and that's okay. So for me, that on those days when I'm like, do you know what, I feel really uninspired, I don't know what I'm wearing, I get on my phone, I get on my Pinterest, and I'm like, all my things that I've pinned in the past, I'm like, okay, I'm going to recreate that. Or I go through my album of outfits that I've worn in the past that I've loved. This is something that people need to utilize. If you like yourself in an outfit, take a picture. It doesn't have to be anything flashy, but it could just be literally a snap of the outfit, and you've got it as your back catalogue for those days when you're like, lost. So I go to that, or go to my Pinterest, and then I'm like, oh, just wear that. Lovely, done. But
Fantastic.
for my clients, especially my busy working mums running businesses or running a home and, you know, all the things, everybody's diaries, I always say, whilst you're brushing your teeth the night before, look at what you've got planned for the next day and plan your outfit whilst you're brushing your teeth. Because if you add it on to something that you are already doing, you're more likely to make that a habit.
Yeah.
And I always say, plan your outfit where, even if you are staying at home. Here's the missing link, is that if you are just planning your outfits for when you're going to do a talk or do something, you know, out of the ordinary, you're not going to know how to get dressed day to day. You're then going to reach for the safe, the jeans and a t-shirt, And then when you do have something that you want to get dressed up for, you're not going to know how to get dressed for your everyday life or to utilize the whole of your wardrobe. So for me, on those days when I'm lacking inspiration, I go to my own archive or Pinterest, and for like majority of everything that I do in terms of talks or whatever, I will plan ahead. Like I've got Goodwood Revival coming up, so I've already planned all my outfits for the whole weekend, because that's a whole weekend and blah blah. There's lots of elements to go in that. So yeah, I think that planning ahead is definitely key for having that creative space that we don't give ourselves.
Beautiful. I love those tips. I've never been somebody, I think it's maybe just not my generation. I've got better at it from since running an online business, but for the most part, I don't take selfies of myself for the sake of recording what I'm wearing. I just don't. But I love that. It's such an easy, simple tip, and you keep a little folder.
Yeah, nobody needs to see it. It's
No.
just your catalogue
Yeah.
of things that you've worn that make you feel good. And what I do for my clients is I'm like, right, now we've got that catalogue. Now, every time you wear one of those outfits, I want you to change out one thing. So let's say you wore this shirt. Next time want you to wear it maybe with a neckerchief. And maybe not with those trousers or whatever you've got, or maybe with a skirt, or maybe with some shorts, and we do the tuck differently. That way you are going to get inspired every time with your wardrobe.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. There's a few tips there, isn't there? And would you recommend as well, if people are comfortable with it, or do you recommend it to your clients to also start like a Pinterest board to initially maybe get inspired?
So what I do is, when I work with my clients, is that I create a mood board that represents not only who you are now, but where you're wanting to go, where you're wanting to up level, where you're wanting to add more flavor, more spice. And all of that comes from me knowing a little bit, well, actually, not a little bit, a lot about you with a questionnaire. And then we have a 1 hour Zoom together with all of that information and the questionnaire and a few images from your wardrobe. I come up with this. And I kid you not, in the hundreds of women that I've worked with, every single time when I send out that, they're like, how did you know who I am? Like, how did you get this so spot on? I've never, ever had anyone be like, that's so off the mark.
Wonderful.
Every time it's spot on.
This is your gift,
So,
then. This is your calling.
yeah, I'm glad I get to do my calling every day. So
Amazing.
yeah, I'm very
Amazing.
lucky.
So, I mean, you've touched on a few different things that you do when you work with clients. So let's just dive into anything else that maybe you haven't already shared for those of the listeners that are keen and getting interested in, like, oh, what does Sophia actually do, what it feels like, and what it might look like if we wanted to work with Sophia. So you predominantly work with women on a one-to-one basis, is that correct?
Yeah, so I
Okay.
do online and in person. So they're my two main pieces, and then I have different tiers within those pieces, especially in person, because sometimes it's not necessarily that you want me to come and do a whole, like, the whole full kit and caboodle. Sometimes it's just that you just need inspiration with what you've got, and then you can handle the rest. So I come in after all of that initial work, and we've got the foundation, we've got the bones, because the reason why I like to do that before I come into your wardrobe is because when I come there and you say to me, oh no, Sophia, I can't let go of that dress because I am going to get back into it. I know it's been there for 10 years, but I am going to lose the weight. And I'm like, but even when you do lose the weight, it is not fitting into this woman that you're telling me that you want to be. So it's really, really important to get crystal clear about where you want to go, who you are, before we even step into your wardrobe. So we go through absolutely everything, and I mean everything, even underwear, because it really matters. It really, really matters. If you have not been nursing for a year, but you are still rocking that nursing bra, Houston, we've got a problem. So it is not going to make you feel good. It is not going to make you feel sexy and, do all the things that you want your underwear to do. No one has to see it, but it's got to make you feel good. And those, holy knickers that are holding on by the crooks, all of that matters hugely. So yeah, we go through absolutely everything. We get rid of the dead wood, the when I get slimmer pile, or all of that. And equally, we don't just get rid of it, but if it's something that you absolutely love, it holds memories or whatever, I always find a way that we can use it, whether it becomes a piece of art. You love that fabric, it doesn't fit you anymore, let's frame it. Then you can see it every day instead of it just stacking up in your wardrobe. You love that piece of fabric, let's turn it into a cushion. There's so many ways. You love that dress, okay, maybe the top half doesn't work for you anymore, let's turn it into a skirt. So there's loads and loads of different suggestions that I throw into the mix, rather than just let's get rid of everything and let's go out shopping and buy you lots more things. And then we are left with the bones of all the things that you love. And that is where the magic happens. That's where I come up with lots and lots of different ways of you wearing the things that you love. That's when I find all the gaps that are missing in your wardrobe. Do you know what? You've got 12 pairs of trousers here, but no tops. Or you've got 15 tops and 2 bottoms, all of that stuff. How can we get you a wardrobe that represents where you want to go? So they're the pieces that then we pull in.
Wow.
Those gaps are filled with that woman that you want to become. As well as, the good foundation of the good old basics. How can we layer and add structure and add, be able to transition your summer wardrobe to winter wardrobe when all you've got is all the fun stuff, I like to call it, all the glitz and the glamour, but no substance of piecing it together. So all of that happens in that time. You try on everything. I take photos of you, head to toe, accessories, everything. And then you have that as your catalogue. I call it the Style Bible, but it literally is a whole catalogue of outfits of you, documentation of how I've put it together. Like it's a game changer, and you have that to go back to inspire you. It sort of is the start to this, having the catalogue on your own phone. Because you get comfortable in front of the camera. I've had so many women when I start, taking the photos, they're like, how do I stand? How do I do this? And they're like, at the end of it, like, really posing and getting that confidence. When we know that scene in Sex and the City when she's trying on her wardrobe, when Carrie's trying on her wardrobe in front of the girls, it's that moment of you can stand there in your own power. You do look amazing. And this is using things that you didn't think that were good enough for you or worked for you. So within that, depending on what package you get, I then take everything away. That I sell on the things that are sellable for you, 50-50 commission. I donate to women's shelters and homeless, the things that aren't quite right, for resale, because at the end of the day, it's about keeping things in circulation. A homeless guy is not going to care that you've got a couple of holes in your cashmere. They just want to keep warm. So that's the and it is about getting you to get rid of your deadwood but help others in the process.
Wow.
So that's my whole in one. And then there's lots and lots of steps for aftercare and things like that, because it's not just a one and done, because you've got this whole, you've been decades and decades having this mentality of how you think you should be styled and how societally thinks that you should be styled and what you should be wearing. So there's a lot of, I hold your hand through the whole process, and it can sometimes take months, sometimes it takes less months, but primarily I work with you for a few months.
Wow. Oh, I love that. There's so much in what you said there. Like you basically help women, I think initially, especially when we're unsure or we don't know what to pair together, or we don't know how to dress ourselves for who we are now becoming, this new identity, this new image. It's almost just getting permission from somebody who does look amazing to mirror back to you and say, no, you look amazing too, and you can rock it. And
Yeah.
almost like you said, that hand holding initially
Mm-hmm.
until you build that confidence yourself to be able to start experimenting and be playful and
Yeah,
try new things, whether it works or whether it doesn't work.
absolutely.
And I love that part on like really designing your image for where you want to go, because I think, let's
Yeah.
be real, most people listening to this, and myself included here, I'm guilty of
Mm-hmm.
this. And I think you put something out last week or on LinkedIn about getting rid, like shedding and clearing out some clothes.
Absolutely.
And it made me think, I'm better at it now. It's
Mm-hmm.
something I've had to learn to do, and it's something I've only learned
Mm-hmm.
to do in the last few years, but I can definitely be a lot better. But I remember I had this pair of hot pants that I just
Love.
absolutely adored, and it was so sentimental to me because
Mm-hmm.
I wore them during some of my best years,
Mm-hmm.
some of the most memorable and cherished moments of my life when I was still young, free, single, bopping around Melbourne in Australia, cycling around in my little hot pants, and I was like a little
Love.
skinny size 8, and all of the rest of it.
Mm.
And life was easy and free and simple, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't been a size 8 in years. But I
Mm-hmm.
held on to these little pants. And every now and then I'd try and squeeze into them. I'm like, they don't even come close. Like, why have I still got them? But I'm like, but I, they're my favorite hot pants. And it's not just that you're holding on to this memory, but it's holding
Mm-hmm.
you back because it's stopping you
Absolutely.
from fully embracing who you are becoming now, the
Now.
new woman that is
Mm-hmm.
emerging, that you should
Mm-hmm.
equally love and adore and make room and space for, instead of still
Mm-hmm.
dreaming about somebody who you were 15 years ago, because you're not
And
15 years younger anymore.
And the thing is, you've got the memory. You can
Mm,
vividly remember it like crystal clear. And that's okay to have that memory. You don't need the clutter. I always say this, that it's not just about the physical clutter, it's
mm,
also the mental clutter of that,
mm.
of the, oh, oh God, you've got so big now, you can't fit into those. And it's that. It's that then feeds into your subconscious, because then you're like, oh, because I'm not that slim, oh, that's not going to work, or because that, and it is on a loop continuously. And what I do, depending on what my clients need, and my all my packages are so bespoke. Like, I had a client recently that it was that, like, she had lost so much weight in quite a short period of time, that her mind hadn't caught up with this new body and new image. So in her mind, she was still much larger than she actually is, and it's all of that. And I said to her that it's great that you've lost the weight, but the losing weight needs to happen at the same time as the style, the image, all of that, because they need to go in conjunction with each other. Because you're going to get to your goal weight or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, and you're going to be still in that body. You're still not going to be able to catch up with that person. So I always say, people say to me, oh no, oh, I'll use a stylist when I've lost weight. I'll do this when I've lost weight. I'll do, how many times have we heard that? But it needs to work together, because you're going to get to that goal weight and you're still not going to know who you are. And holding on to things that are constantly reminding you that you are not that weight anymore is a hindrance
Yeah.
to your progress massively.
Yeah, I think that was the turning point for me, because so my body shape began to change about 4 years ago.
Mm,
And for about 6 months or so, I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. And that is
mm,
not, that was so unusual for me because I've always been really
mm-hmm,
confident. But I wasn't recognizing my reflection, and I wasn't
mm,
enjoying my reflection.
mm,
And it was that very piece that began to change things for me, where I understood from the
mm-hmm,
mind perspective that I need to come to learn and accept and embrace, and not just accept, but really love who I'm becoming
mm,
now.
mm,
And now I'm 45, and I'm physically larger than I've ever been in my life, but I'm more confident than I've ever been in my life, right? Because my mind is changing on that. But I had to start
Exactly.
letting go, because for that very reason, I realized I was holding on to these things and they were making me feel shameful and guilty and less worthy and undeserving and all those really nasty feelings that were making
Big.
me
Yeah.
small and really crushing my confidence. It's just like, well, they're just clothes. Why am I holding on to something that's preventing me from moving forward? And then once I
Yeah.
started letting it go, initially it was hard. It was hard, but once I started letting it go, it was leaving my house by the bagload. So it's
But
just like,
it's not just, like I say, it's not just physical, it's
no.
also mentally. So I bet that you felt a bit of a relief and a like a, oh, okay, now I can start to rebuild a wardrobe that represents who I am and where I want to go,
Yes.
rather than holding on to those memories. And it's funny you should say that about the mirror stuff, because I also do, depending on what my clients need, but some of my clients need some bit of mirror work. Have you ever stood in the mirror naked and really seen yourself? How can you dress a body that you've never seen? How can you appreciate a body in clothes when you won't even look at it in its bare form?
And I bet there's so many women out there who haven't done that. I've got to admit, it's something I've only recently learned to do. And it still
And
can
that
sometimes
is
be
something,
uncomfortable.
absolutely, absolutely. But it's those baby steps that we take before we even get dressed and do all the loveliness of putting outfits together. You need to get comfortable, or as comfortable as humanly possible for where you are at. Because I'll always meet my clients where they're at. I'll never push too far, because everybody's got stuff. You know, I've had clients with body dysmorphia and, you know, loads and loads of different things going on for women. But the thing is that we've got to start somewhere, because the only way that it's going to change is if we take that first step.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, I love that. And I loved also that you brought the example, because from my experience and a lot of the women that I'm speaking to, because my audience are in their 40s, predominantly, not all, but most of us are probably putting on the weight as we enter into perimenopause or menopause. And it's, predominantly around the bum, the hips, and the tummy. It's that area, and everything that we've done previously, it just doesn't seem to be working. But as you pointed out, it could be the other way. It could be that you've lost a lot of weight as well. So thank you for bringing that to the forefront as well, because it's not just about one way. It's both, and it's
It's
everything in between as
absolutely,
well. It's just
absolutely.
and looking in the mirror, I've got more work to do on that. I'm
Oh, I
trying,
do.
but I've got more
I
work to
do.
do.
I do a whole thing about mirror work, and like a step by step, day by day, increasing it slightly. We start at like 10 seconds. Just look, no judgment. Because also, how can you find pieces or bits of you that you love if you don't ever see?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
there's just so
100%.
many layers to it, completely.
I'm gonna go do some more mirror work. But you
Oh,
know
good.
where I started with my mirror work in those early stages where I was really struggling to accept the new person that was emerging, was just looking at myself in a little, I don't know, like a desk. Like just a mirror for your face is what I'm trying to say. Not
Yeah,
not the whole
yeah.
body, fully clothed, but I would sit here, and I've got the mirror right there in front of me. I can see it. It stays in my office now,
I
because
love
it's a
that
big part of my self-love healing process. And every now and
journey.
then, yeah, and I would sit there and I would just talk to myself. Sometimes I would just look at myself directly in the eyes and shower myself with words of love and compassion and kindness. And sometimes I couldn't bear it,
I
because
love
that's how
that.
deep the wounds were. But that's where I started, just even looking at my face, because my face was changing shape. Like, I started getting saggy jowls, and it's just like, I don't want to get a facelift, and it's something that I'd never do. I don't agree with it, but at the same time, I'm not enjoying how I'm losing muscle mass, and bone density is reducing, because all of those things come into it. It's not just in your
Yeah,
body there.
absolutely.
It's all of this to change. My face is so different today than it was 5 years ago. So just starting with that, I found was a stepping stone. Like you said, those small baby steps
Yeah.
to start to get into it before I started doing the full reveal in front of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
mirror.
No, absolutely. And I love that. And also the whole thing of like talking to yourself kindly. Affirmations are not for everyone. And I've had many clients that are like, no, 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 I can't do that. But just initially looking, I've had clients don't even own a mirror, don't have a mirror in their house apart from like a little makeup one in the thing. And how do you get dressed? How do you see yourself before anyone else sees you and casts judgment or opinion? You know, it's all of those things. And I think that we are so kind to other people, and one of my values within my business and my personal life is kindness, but not just to other people. It starts with us, because if we're kinder to ourselves, we are going to be kinder to others. Completely.
Beautiful. I love that. 100%. It is one of my highest values as well. And something that you just don't see enough of. And
No.
but anyway, that's a whole other tangent, which I'm not going to go down.
It's a whole nother podcast.
It is. Just on kindness. People get out there and be kind. It's really easy.
Yeah.
Sophia, can you help our listeners to, because we're about to transition from our summer wardrobe into our autumn winter wardrobe, which is why I was really excited to have you come on the podcast at this time specifically, because this is a time where we're going to be changing over the wardrobe, maybe getting rid of things, having a bit of a clear out, maybe making some new purchases as well. What tips are you able to share with the listeners who are like, okay, I feel really inspired by what I've heard Sophia say, and I'm going to try something new, but I've never done anything like this before. So where do I start? How do I know what to let go of, pass on, hold on to? How do I learn to pair things together? Do I go out and buy new things? Should I go shopping? Where can these ladies start?
Oh, that's a great big question.
It is
I
a
love
big
it.
question. Sorry. Just
so-
answer what you can. It's all right. You don't have to answer it fully.
So my thing is that the way that I work is that I want your wardrobe to work harder for you. And the only way that your wardrobe can work harder for you is if you don't limit yourself into, this is for work, this is for play, this is for summer, this is for winter. As soon as you start putting your wardrobe into categories, you are limiting yourself, because if you're at work 9 to 5, 5 days a week, that's your work wardrobe. So then your home or play outfits are laying dormant. Why can't you? Because you're still natively the same person with the same values. So why can't we amalgamate the two? Your summer wardrobe. We live in England. You never know what where we live in England. I don't know if everyone does that's listening, but primarily, you don't know what the weather's doing from 1 minute to the next. We could have an Indian summer and all of these kind of things. So putting your wardrobe away in your winter wardrobe away because it's summer and then it rains for about 7 weeks is not, I just feel like it is totally a waste of your time and money, because on that gorgeous day of rain, when you've packed all your winter stuff away, you're going to go to the supermarket for milk and you're going to come back with a raincoat that you've got 5 of in the loft. All of those things. So if space is an issue, 100%, your bigger items, definitely vacuum pack those things and get them out of the way. But if you've got space and you don't need a lot in your wardrobe, you just need the creativity to put it together. And here's where it comes in. So let's say, do you know what, this summer you've really enjoyed wearing that strappy dress. It's really, you just loved the flow of it and it's made you feel really good. You love the pattern of it. It's just so vibrant and fun. Why are you packing it away? Why are you packing it away? Let's layer it. Let's put something on underneath. Let's make it into a skirt and put a cashmere gorgeous jumper over the top with some boots, leggings underneath for extra warmth. Let's start pairing it with things that make sense for the season, rather than let's put it all away because the fun stopped, because now it's winter, now it's autumn, and we just go back to the typical beiges, aubergines, browns, and that's it. No more fun, no more yellows, no more of that good stuff that makes us feel happy. And actually dopamine dressing, something that I'm really a massive fan of. And we just go back to all the dull stuff because we are told that that's the trend now and that's what we should be doing. So for me, it's about getting your wardrobe to work harder for you, getting those pieces that you've absolutely loved, that you've enjoyed. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying stay in your Birkenstocks in the middle of winter. What I'm saying to you is those items that bring you joy, those fabrics, those prints, those colours, continue to wear them wherever you are. Just make them work for that situation. Okay, maybe you can't wear that particular strappy dress to work, but maybe by combining it with a t-shirt underneath and a blazer on top and wearing it with a loafer, totally works. You know, it's those kind of creativity ideas that are needed to make your whole wardrobe work harder for you.
Wow, I love that. I love how you've just pulled apart that conventional norm of like having separate seasonal wardrobes. It is something that I do, but now I probably will rethink. I mean,
Yeah, it could just be certain items. It doesn't
yeah,
have to be the whole wardrobe.
sure.
But why? Why limit yourself to
Mm,
the things that you love? Because a lot of people that I speak to and a lot of my clients find it so much harder to dress in summer, or they find it harder to dress in the when like that in-betweeny bit,
which
you
we're
know,
going
when just
into. Yeah.
which we're going into. It's really hard. I'm not quite in my summer dress, but I'm not quite in, you know, my thermals. But that in between bit is perfect for your summer wardrobe
Yeah.
because you can start loosely layering. And I always say I've got a whole thing coming out about this actually in my weekly style journal. No, it's not weekly anymore. It's going to be bi-weekly, but it's going to be a style journal. Pretend it's like my newsletter that is going to talk you through how to style these pieces throughout the seasons. Because I think that that is something that so many of my clients struggle with, so many of my community struggle with, is how do I actually, in real time, put these things together? So in that, it's going to be like a video series of that because it is tricky and different. I think that different, if you're working from home or if you're having a day out with the kids, sometimes amalgamating those two wardrobes together can be a bit tricky. But having somebody show you how you can physically do that with some of your wardrobe staples is something quite valuable.
Beautiful. I love that you've just said that because um I'm very conscious of your time, and you and I could
Oh,
sit here and talk all day. I feel like we this conversation could just go on and on and on, and we would thoroughly be enjoying ourselves, as would our listeners. But to respect your time, we will start to wrap this conversation up.
mm,
But Sophia, for the women tuned in who really want to learn how to do this with your guidance, what do you have coming up where they may be able to find you or work with you on a deeper
mm.
level? Is there anything exciting on the agenda for you for Fine Tuned Wardrobe?
So I do. So I've got a 20-day, 20 women style challenge program. And I've run this before. And within that, oh my goodness, the takeaways and the aha moments were incredible in those 20 days. And this time round, we're even going deeper. So we're going to have so much more support throughout the 20 days. I help you go through the whole of your wardrobe, not just the wardrobe, but also your mindset. In the 20 days, you get a prompt every day to do something. And I had women that missed days, but then they carried on days or did 2 prompts in one day and things like that. So it can really work around you. The whole purpose of this is to get women to give themselves that permission to start, because sometimes it's easy to say, do you know what, I loved listening to Sophia, I'm going to try it, and then life happens and nothing happens, or I'm going to, all of those things. So I hold your hand throughout the whole process with prompts. There's a WhatsApp group, there's an ebook to go along with it. There's so many things in there that really start you on a journey to acceptance, to really dressing in things that make you feel amazing. And starts in the actual program starts in October. And the reason why I'm doing it in October and not in January or any other time that, you know, new year, new me and all that, because we need to start now. We need to start today to be the best version of ourselves for tomorrow. It's not about, you know, I'm going to wait till I lose weight. I'm going to wait till I do this thing, or I'm going to wait till the kids go back, and all of these things that we put ourselves under. Let's start today with one thing that we can do for ourselves that are going to make tomorrow and the future us even more better. And this program is an onset of that. I had women start showing up on social media for their business because they were more confident in doing videos, doing podcasts. I had a lady that has not been to the gym for years. She was confident enough to get in those sports gyms and work out, go swimming, something that she hasn't done in years, because she felt confident enough to show up as her authentic self as she is today. So, and those transformations happened in 20 days.
Wow.
So that's how transformative it is. So it starts, you can sign up for it now. I'm sure you'll put the link in
100%.
something. Sign up today, and it's just going to be an amazing experience. So that's what I've got coming up. I've also got lots of events coming up that I'm doing. But yeah, you can catch all of that if you sign up to my style journal, and also if you follow me on all the socials, Fine Tuned Wardrobe and Sophia Lorimer on LinkedIn.
Beautiful. And I'm 100% confident that many of our listeners are going to be jumping on your socials and signing up for your newsletter. I'm not on your newsletter, so I'm going to sign up for the newsletter. I follow you on LinkedIn.
You've got to. Yes.
Definitely.
So it's been on pause for the summer, but yeah, I'm changing it up massively in September, so it's very exciting.
Yes, and this 20-day, 20 women challenge sounds amazing. It's what a beautiful intimate group to do that with as well.
Yeah,
I love those
definitely.
closed groups. Oh, Sophia, this has been an absolute joy. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you.
I will, of course, link everything underneath in the show notes, so it's nice and easy for the ladies to come and look you up and join your world as well. For those of you who are just listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, as in the words of Sahara Rose, do come and check out our fabulous outfits on YouTube as well. So you can see Sophia's pajamas that she is rocking, with the feathery tassels that she's had tailored on as well. You've been an absolute inspiration to learn more about and hear your journey and just what you're doing for women, because it is so much more than just surface level fashion. Yes, there's all the sustainability
100%.
side of things too, which we didn't even really dive into. Maybe another time, a part 2 another time. But it's so much deeper, the work you're doing, and you're really transforming lives and empowering women and infusing them with the confidence and the joy that they deserve to feel, irrespective of what phase they are in their lives. And so thank you for the work that you do, Sophia. You do it so beautifully, and you're a fantastic example of that. It's been such a pleasure speaking to you. I did say to you before we leave, and you agreed that you were happy for this. So this is a little tradition that I am looking to begin. So
love
I don't know
this.
if you're familiar with Stephen Bartlett. He's the podcast host of The Diary of a CEO. But at the end of his podcast, he will always ask the guest to leave a question for the next guest. Now,
Yeah.
this isn't quite the same, but I have here in my possession a pack of his conversation cards. So, Stephen, thank you. This is down to you. And you've agreed to answer any question that comes up. There are 3 different levels.
Okay.
Level 1, 2, and 3. And level 1 is like not so intimate and deep. And level 3 is like spill your guts, kind of.
Let's go for 2.
It's for 2. All right, we're playing it safe in the middle. All right. So I'm going to find the first number 2 that comes up.
Okay.
All right.
Good job you're shuffling and not me. I'm not very good at shuffling.
So all of these questions have been left with Stephen by celebrity guests. So this question is by Jessie Lingard. And the question is, do uncomfortable situations bring the best or worst out in you?
Oh, that's a good one. I think I get to know another layer of myself when I'm in uncomfortable situations, because it's how I move on from that. I learn a lot about myself. So, especially when I was starting out the business, and I started it in the November, we went into lockdown in the March, and everybody around me said, do not do this. It's going to be a flop. You shouldn't do it. And I just did it anyway. And here we are, 6 years later nearly. So yeah, I learn so much more about myself when I go through that. I always do that because it's like that friction.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's when you grow and learn. You don't learn in the comfort.
No, 100% agree. So to answer the question, what I'm hearing you say is that it actually brings out the best in you because you accept that challenge. You allow the grit to mold you into a higher version of yourself.
100%, 100%.
Beautiful. Any final words, Sophia, that you would like to leave for our listeners?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say, as soon as you come off this, do one thing before you subscribe to all of my things. Do one thing today that is just for you, whether that is just put on a lipstick that you haven't worn in a while, put on that thing that you've been saving for best, do something that remotely is just for you that makes you feel incredible, and harness that feeling and try and replicate it at least every day.
I love that. I love a good takeaway, as do my listeners. Thank you so much, Sophia. It's been an absolute joy.
Thank you so much for having me. I've loved it.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey ladies, just really quickly, your last chance to catch me in person for the tail end of summer is this Saturday, 6th of September, right here in Leicester at the Leicester Wellness Festival. At 1 p.m, I will be delivering a talk, an introduction to chakras. So if you are coming along, please find me and come and say hi. I love to meet you in person and have conversations with my listeners. If you haven't already got your tickets, the link is in the show notes. Please bring your girlfriends, your sisters, your mums along. It's going to be an absolutely fun day. So full of workshops and talks and stall holders. Just absolutely everything holistic well-being under one roof. So please do check it out, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for joining me on this episode of High Self Mastery. If something landed, moved you, or sparked a shift, I'd love to hear from you. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and share this episode with a woman in your life that is also ready to rise. And if you found value in today's conversation, please take a moment to rate and review this podcast, especially in these early days. It really helps others to find this work too. If you're craving deeper support and sisterhood, join my mailing list using the link below, where you'll be the first to receive free meditations, learn about up-and-coming retreats, and other ways that we can work together. Until next time, honor your truth and trust in the timing of your becoming.